Welcome to WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. The gang is indeed all here. Well, partially here. Magic, great to see you. Bankerbell, great to see you. Let me scroll up a little bit. The reference frame, great to see you. Want to start off with a somewhat vague sounding message, but if you know, you know, and I think you might appreciate it. There's a phenomenon that I have noticed that I do not have an explanation for. But I have two theories which ought to be tested because they will affect how we behave going forward. The phenomenon is this: people who I know they are wrong. Nonetheless, firmly and passionately put forward ideas that they know will get under your skin, will cause you to cease explaining yourself calmly, and will instead just start talking about whatever the last thing they said. A lot of times those folks are trying to get tossed. I suspect it is because they are afraid of what we are saying, to be blunt. Now, to be clear, I don't have the right to run an experiment in somebody else's chat, which I tried to do earlier. Well, kind of. I had an opportunity, and it was important to me to try to take it. Because to me, reaching even one person who is in the kind of situation that I think they are in is that important. It's worth us gritting our teeth through insults and whatever way they choose to lash out. But notice that term, lash out. There's one explanation for the behavior I'm witnessing that I think you'd be interested in. One explanation: when somebody leaves a cult or is in the process of leaving a cult or an abusive home or a situation that is both a danger to you, well, let's not even say danger. It is both harming you actively and getting in your head. Something that they do, and this is very common with children who are in foster care after having been in an abusive home. Sometimes they will attack the people that are helping them. It's a documented phenomenon. The psychology of it is supposedly that uh, they can't stand the thought of being rejected after coming to a place where they think they might be able to be happy. They can't stand the thought of losing that uh, when they aren't prepared for it, so they try to make it happen. And it goes as far as some foster kids attacking, physically attacking their foster parents. It has happened. That's one explanation for what might happen if you see a new face who used to say some pretty harsh things and after a long conversation was saying less harsh things, and then you see them the next day and suddenly they're trying to get you mad again. That's one explanation. I don't think that's what happened tonight, but that is an explanation. Or maybe that is. I really don't know if that's what happened tonight. I'm just saying that I'm in another stream of which I was a guest mod. I stuck my neck out for somebody and it didn't work. They were uh, they were unable to keep a civil conversation going. But also, we didn't help at all. And even the most well-meaning of us, which I was amongst them, we all tried to talk to him at once, got swarmed, uh, and on top of that, insults were going his way by the time I arrived. Now, understand this person had it coming. They said, I'm not going to repeat it, but they said one of the most despicable things a person can say, especially at this time. That is who they are. Well, no, that's not who they are. That is who they were trying to be. Was it because they were lashing out? Was it because they were testing the waters and they didn't like the idea that, well, if I go here, I can't stay where I am, and if I get rejected here, uh, then I'll be with nobody. Maybe, I don't know. There's another possibility though, and we are going to have to be very savvy because if this possibility is true, it's a ready or not situation. And also, if it is not true now, it will inevitably be true in the near future. And that possibility is this: if somebody appears to be professing certain beliefs, and then they flip flop on those beliefs in the name of stirring up trouble. So they say one thing to get you mad over there, and then they say another thing to get you mad, and a contradictory thing to get you mad over here. That, to me, stinks of an agitator, and possibly a paid agitator. To me, what I would want us to do then, if you have reason to believe that somebody is an agitator, like, say, the Russian Web Brigade, what I would like us to do then is to, before we ban them, check their account, see if it is less than a year old, possibly even play along to keep them in the chat until we've checked their account. Because if it is that, if we discover that they, for example, are using an account that's less than a year old with a picture that, if you reverse image search, you find is from a suspicious location, whatever that may be, like for example, a popular Russian meme, or just a generic meme picture, et cetera, or no picture at all. Uh, we have to report that. we have to find these folks and report them because they are literally engaged in an act of war against us. And if we just allow them free shots, if we just kick them out of our community, let me put it like this. We just kick them out of our community, they will simply move on to the next one and cause the same problems. And that could be the end of a whole movement. I'll tell you, that has it's worked like a charm. I've been watching it work since 2016. All they need to do to stop us from talking to each other is say a couple of well-placed insults, goad us just a little bit here and there, and get us hollering. But I've noticed that when you don't holler, when you don't let someone off the hook by responding to their insults, you can actually begin to understand them, or at least force them to reveal what they understand themselves or don't understand themselves. Either way, there is a point to the conversation, or there can still be a point to the conversation if it doesn't just become hollering. And the people who are most afraid of having a conversation will be unable to stop hollering. Don't let them get you. It's a sign of fear to try to goad us like this. It's perhaps coming from somebody who senses the same thing we sense, which is that the country is not going, in the hearts of the country is not with them, and perhaps never will be again. Speaking of, who wants to talk about unionizing ICE? You see, it's every time you think I'm going to say something you like, I come out with something just awful. I have thoughts on that, and I'd like to do a segment on it. Listening but lurking, says Donald James X. Well, it's a pleasure, man. That's what I do in your streams all the time. Don't feel bad. Is reporting them effective? Says the reference frame. Does it do anything? Genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know either. I can tell you this. There is no specific way to report a bot as a bot. You can call them spam or illegal content, yada, yada. But there's no way to flag, from what I've seen, an account as a bot. I don't know exactly what we're going to do about it, to be fully honest. I did do web security for a company once upon a time, but I never should have been allowed to because I don't know enough about it to actually, get rid of a bot. But I mean, we're going to have to put our heads together and figure out how do we get rid of these bots. And step one, I think, is going to be to be savvy and look for behavior that does not make sense. Look for behavior that is contradictory. It's going to happen again, for sure. I'm not going to stick my neck out for everybody. This person in particular, I wanted to talk to. And hopefully they'll show up. Bot V3X. I'm not a bot. Well, I feel like we can take that at face value. Oh, I got a chuckle. Reference frame said, chuckled right now because you spurred my expectations with that question. It was my intention. Because I've asked the right wing a lot lately to set aside the fact that they don't agree with us broadly, to look at something specific. So let me tell this to my left-wing audience. First of all, we're going to have some fun, and I need you for the show to work in the horizontal stream, and I need other folks in the vertical stream. I need two separate audiences for this particular stream to work, but I'm going to ask you to set aside the fact that you think ICE should be gone altogether. By the way, that's something I agree with. And right-wingers, I think ICE should be gone altogether. But question remains, in your assessment, and I'm talking to the horizontal stream right now. That's generally a more progressive leaning stream. In your assessment, progressives, would it be in the ICE agents' best interest to unionize? Not do they deserve good things? Not should they be in prison? Again, I think the answer to those two questions are no and yes. They do not deserve good things and should be in prison. But in your assessment, your dispassionate, cold assessment, is it in ICE's best interest to unionize? Let me post a poll. Start a poll. Not should ICE unionize. Is it in ICE agents' best interest to unionize? Now, here's why I'm asking this. I don't know if I can put that on the screen. I will work it. I'll just read off what the poll says. This is not a fancy enough stream that we have to worry about this. Okay, so why am I asking this? Because I want them in the vertical stream to understand what a union does. I think it would be, I think you guys are the experts on this. And I also want to demonstrate for them that we can dispassionately talk about uh, the cause and effect of our policy goals. Plus, I happen to think that a lot of the violence that is being done by ICE right now is being done because they were given an unrealistic goal by people who have no an idea how anything works. It's harsh to hear, but hear me out. Let me make sure I'm not misquoting. What is ICE's arrest? What is it? Goal. Numbers. Okay. The Trump administration set a goal for U.S. immigration and customs enforcement of 1 million annual deportations, translating to a target of approximately 3,000 immigration arrests per day. While daily arrests have sometimes lagged behind this 3,000 goal, they have significantly increased with error of some sort, link, uh, strange symbols, over 1,900 people arrested in a single day in June. So let me just be very clear. Again, I think every arrest that they're doing is vile. I think the organization, ICE itself, ought to be gone altogether. You know how I feel. I'm not asking you to feel that way. I'm asking you, is it a fair goal to ICE to arrest 3,000 people a day? We just saw that they're doing more. And to brag about doing more, they said we got 1,900 one day. Yeah, man to the pivot. Insane goal. Agreed. Here's a question. Here's Pinkerbill's view on unionization. Technically, yes, it would be in their best interests, but I think it would be antithetical to the best interests of the people to have a freaking ICE union. Now that I don't know if I agree with technically, but in spirit I do. I don't think it's on progressives beyond this demonstrative moment to help them at all. I want them to go away. But if these people want to help them form a union, sure. I don't think the problem is necessarily all right. The core problem with ICE is not some detail. It's their very founding. They were founded, as part of Homeland Security as a response to the war on Taylor, that poor gal, to the war on terror and yada, yada. We know, we agree, but bear in mind the way you feel right now about the snakes in your stomach feeling of me asking you right now to have sympathy, not even sympathy, but to consider the needs and what is in the best interest of ICE, even if it's unjust, that is how the vertical folks feel every time I ask them to, I don't know, not lynch. So I'm sorry. I'm being mean to you, lovely sons of Yakub, but I'm trying. I am trying here. I'm going to publish the poll after I finish the point I started 5 minutes ago. So they have a goal of. I saw somebody say this. This is good. Uh, I saw that they have a goal of 3,000 arrests a day. Martin Kahn says only 3,000 arrests a day. We're not doing as well as we could. Well, that's the thing. You're not even doing 3,000 arrests a day. When they were bragging about increasing the number of arrests they did, they were saying we reached a goal, or we reached on one day 1,900 arrests. That's 1,100 arrests short of their goal. You're saying we're not doing as well as we could, assuming that by doing as well as you could, you mean bailing out brown folks from the country. My point to you is all right. I just said that in a mean way. And I know that's not how you would characterize it. And this is not the time to try to get under your skin after I just said people do that to shut down conversation. Let me try this again and not be rude to you this time, Martin, and I apologize. I assume you think it's a good thing. Every single deportation they've done is a good thing. But what I've just demonstrated to you is they are unable to attain that goal of 3,000 a day, and that they've come nowhere near it, at least on average. That is an unrealistic goal, is what I'm telling you. Aside from the fact that I don't think they should be doing what they're doing at all, the number that was set for them was arbitrary. It was just done, Martin, so that you would have that feeling right there, so that you would say a big number every day is what should be gone. But it wasn't the if they're doing, they have a 1 million annual deportation goal. I will remind you that the population of the whole country is only 333 million. There's not enough bodies to catch 3,000 illegal immigrants a day per ICE's instructions. So what do? They catch anybody they can. Because remember, that $50,000 that was advertised for ICE, that has strings attached. You have to they're going to make you dance for that. You have to try to snatch up an unreasonable amount of people. An unreasonable amount of people. So what do you do? What do you do when your job offers you certain benefits, but will only they advertise certain benefits. They get you to go in and apply. They get you to do all the push-ups and running or whatever you have to do if it's a physical job. That you go through all that, and then you find out to get that money, to get that benefit that was offered, I have to achieve something that cannot be achieved. So they were lying. In other words, they were lying about what they were offering. They were not really offering a $50,000 bonus because they know you are unlikely to get it. What do you do? Let me publish this poll. Oh my God, you guys made me proud. Do I have the ability to put this on stream? Oh, I hope I do. Well, I'll just tell you, if you're watching in the vertical, excuse me, if you're watching the vertical and you were to peek at the horizontal chat, 100% of the progressives, despite the fact that you saw my longtime friend Pinkerbell just say that they don't think it's in America's interest that ICE has anything good in their lives. I'm exaggerating, Pinkerbell, but it's my sentiment. Despite that, they acknowledge that it would be in ICE agents' best interest to have a union. Now, look, you could say that I still want that number met. I still want 3,000 arrests a day. But if you were in an ICE union, you could say, all right, but you advertise, we'll try. But you didn't advertise $50,000 for 3,000 a day. You advertised $50,000 for signing on. So we get that no matter what, because we're in a union now and we're not going to get rid of anybody if you don't give us what you promised. That is the point of a union, to defend worker rights. I feel that ICE are despicable human beings, but I understand why they made the decision that they did. In the same way that I understand why Jerry from Rick and Morty held the door closed and kept it closed, locking his family outside of the door with the tragedy during a tragedy, because that's Jerry's character. But I understand that Jerry was afraid of the scary thing that was happening. I can understand the motivations, at least. And I'm just telling you, here is one of the many benefits that you guys in the vertical are getting by listening to what progressives have to say. It's not that you're going to start believing what we believe. I hope one day. I do hope that happens. I hope you have a change of heart. But even if you don't, you may use our dark techniques to improve your own lives. And it is my hope that you will be less resentful when we use those techniques to say, try to unionize Costco, try to unionize Amazon, try to have the working man be able to hold his head high again. "999 says Trump is a Jewish pedophile. Well, I didn't get to the middle of that sentence. This is such a rare thing. But I'm going to go ahead and ban and delete 999. Because even I have a limit to the amount of nonsense I will put up with. Ooh, that was a rough one, folks. Put that right on the screen, did I? Might have to start reading these. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do polls for both of you now. You might find this more interesting. Here's my question for the horizontal chat, and I'm going to ask this poll in the vertical chat as well, but you'll have to give me some grace here. Will I put it in there? Oh, I made this too complicated. You know what? I'm going to make it less complicated right now. 25, 26, and 50. The question I'd like you to think about, and I'll talk while we're doing this. Over the last decade, and I'm asking both chats, don't answer yet. I will do a poll. Over the last decade, what percentage of Democrats do you suspect, don't know, you just think, committed crimes while in office? And I want to be clear, I don't know what the correct answer is. It might be impossible to know what the correct answer is. But I can give you some examples of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Eric Adams. We know he committed a crime while in office. I'm talking about Bob Menendez. We know he committed a crime in office. There's 2 Democrats right there who committed crimes while in office. Andrew Cuomo, Democrat number 3, committed crimes while in office. I would argue that Barack Obama did. It's not a decade, but, is it? No, we're just out. We're just out of it. But basically every president. So that's my question. And I would like you to answer honestly. You don't have to put on a show for these folks. Just answer honestly what you think it is. Now I'm going to go into the vertical chat. I'm going to ask the same question to you. Not for Republicans, still for Democrats. What percentage of Democrats do you believe, in your opinion, committed a crime while in office? And I don't just mean, I'm not saying, you have to know. I'm not saying that I'm going to look it up and have an answer. If you're a politician, the law does not apply to you the same way. But I think finding out what each other thinks is very interesting. All righty, Aphrodite. Here we are, starting the poll. Now, if you are normally a horizontal chat viewer, I would ask you to go answer the poll over there. I want to try to separate this by right-leaning and left-leaning. And for whatever reason, the preferences seem to be the right loves vertical and the left prefers horizontal. It's true for me as well. I'm trying to learn to enjoy vertical phone streams so that I can get better at doing them, but I don't. I don't. I like watching on a monitor, and if I'm watching on my phone, I like turning the phone. But, there's no reason not to do both. That's fine, Pinkerbell, because it's always going to be a mixed bag. Yeah, the reference frame says, I really don't know, so that is a stab in the dark. Not only, I don't know as well, and I want to make it clear, I don't think it's possible to know. I just want to get an assessment of what our guess is based on our, vibes, the stuff we've seen. Again, I'll repeat, Bob Menendez. Yeah, see, Natchiket's kind of giving away the game here. But I'm happy to have it given away when it is put so well. Oh crap, I went with 100 because I was thinking Dem presidents. So vertical viewers, little spoiler alert for you for what our view of the Democratic Party is. I agree, Natchkit. I've fucking literally every president during my lifetime has committed a crime in front of my eyeballs. And we do nothing. We just never do anything about it. It's insane. But Democrat and Republican alike, yes. Madness. Tinkerbell, I'll be your outlier. Fair enough. So let me just repeat some of the names to help you get an idea of what I'm talking about. These are crimes we know about. I'm just asking you for what you think happened in reality. Bob Menendez, full on, got paid in gold bars. Eric, what's his the New York gentleman who Ole May absolutely destroyed the career of? Eric Adams took bribes from the Turkish government. That's a fun old school one. I think that the extrajudicial killing that Barack Obama participated in should count. Eric Cuomo's arguable sexual assaults that went uninvestigated should count. Certainly, the way he ran New York generally as governor, I think could be considered racketeering. That's my thought. All right, we're going to end the poll from the vertical chat first. But before I do, what do you think they landed at. If you're in the vertical chat. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to end the horizontal chat first. Right wingers, what do you think the left wing thinks? Oh, I just realized how I can share this. This might break the thing, but we're going to try. Oh, boy. Oh, I don't like seeing myself twice. Let's end this poll. So, of the horizontal viewers, the most votes went to between 26. What? Oh, no. Did I ruin? Oh, no, I did. I did okay. So between 26 and 50%. So again, 26 and 50%. And there were also votes for 76 to 100%. That is what progressives think of the Democratic Party. Now let's see what Republicans or MAGA thinks of the Democratic Party. I'm going to end this poll. The top getting vote was 76 to 100% at 60% of the vote. And the second most was 26 to 50%. Did you notice something there? In either of those polls, not a one person said nobody committed any crimes while in office. Not one person said that. Also, the top two answers were the same in both. A question I do not have an answer for yet that I'm going to present to you. How do we ensure that criminal politicians face justice? And I'm not going to name names, but the reality that we're dealing with is Eric Adams and Bob Menendez were facing justice, and they got pardons. Did Menendez get a pardon? I don't know. Eric Adams got a pardon. And it's a rare thing that we would even get Adams in court. We only got Adams there in the first place, I believe, because Olie May took him apart so thoroughly on The Breakfast Club. If you all saw that interview, it's like it's art. If you hate progressives, go look up The Breakfast Club, Eric Adams, Olie May. I think that's how it's spelled, Olimay. I don't know. Eric Adams, The Breakfast Club, and wait until you see a beautiful lawyer gal tear this man to shreds. You'll have fun. She tears him to shreds, I suppose, from a left-wing perspective, but you'll still see him absolutely melt, and you can appreciate the fact that he was New York mayor at the time. 0% was an. You're right. Excuse me. You're right. I didn't give 0% as an answer, but nobody selected 10 to 25. Yeah, not one person selected 10 to 25% in either chat. To me, that says so much. That says an awful lot. Oh, thank you. Donald James X. We must be talking about Olayemi. Yes, we are. Alora Nati is what I started calling her, and I always say it wrong now. Yeah, she absolutely skewered that man. Oh, Lacquerbox. Yeah, pretty sure Bob Menendez got a part. Yeah. I thought so as well. It's disappointing. The guy had actual bars of gold that he was paid off in. What are we doing? Rigged, fake poll. Vanilla X Vanilla. I think the likelihood Wait, I think it's a lovely picture of a dig. I think the likelihood of country level officials to receive bribes or have the opportunity for other white collar crimes is much lower. There's a lot more politics. Oh, excuse me. Let me try it again. I think the likelihood of county level officials to receive bribes or have the opportunity for other white collar crimes is much lower. There's a lot more people in politics at that level. True. Although I will say there's also things like who gets the contract to rebuild the bridge and who does the construction company owner know, and are they married to anybody on the city council? There's things like that happening all the time, but I am more concerned with state level, maybe even city level if it's a big enough city, but the bigger politicians, people who have millions of voters. Yes, the reference frame. I think this is a great point. I voted that because insider trading must be pretty rampant. I would agree. And here is a widely held belief of progressives. 90% of Dems are extremely corpo owned. I totally agree. Pinkerbell says small town politics is corrupt, but it is pretty small time. Yeah. Yeah, we're really just we're prioritizing problems at this point. Um, Dennis Nielsen DK says still just fractions of what Trump gets in bribes, scams, corruption, and pure grifting. Oh, agreed. Donald Trump has made more money in his second term than at any other point in his entire life. That's worth looking at. Cat67 Cat says, "Yay, Bovino was either fired or demoted." Yeah, I suspect that Bovino and basically anybody who's been involved in the killings so far are being evacuated before state charges can be filed. And I do think if it's not inevitable that state charges get filed, we got to work to make it that way because assault is assault and murder is murder. And having a badge does not justify, they don't even really have badges. But working for the government does not give you the license to murder people. I do the best scams. Nobody's ever seen scams like mine. You question, yes. Yeah. I'm gonna ask one more. We're gonna do one more poll. I'm trying to do it better this time. And I want you to search your souls. The question is again for both of you. This time I'm gonna put in all the answers. Oh, this is brutal. The question is what percentage of Republicans do you think committed crimes while in office? I don't really know what I would answer. Um, so I acknowledge it's unfair of me to throw it at you like this, but I want it to be unfair. I don't want you to have I don't want you to think of a acceptable answer or a oh, you know what? We're just gonna have to acknowledge that the answer. All right, fine. We're just gonna. I can't do more than 4 options, so it's 0 to 25% to start. But yes, I want us to earnestly take a guess, and I just want you each to see what you think of each other's politicians. I got to tell you, I don't think I have I have any sort of certainty over what the vertical viewers are going to say. Dennis Nielsen DK asking a good question here. All crimes? Yeah, I think all crimes. That's what I'm asking. Did they commit a crime that if they were not a politician, uh, we likely would have seen um, a trial about? All right, vertical viewers, I'm clicking and copy pasting as fast as I can. I have to go one line at a time. I'm sure a wiser man than I could, or a more educated man than I could get this done faster. But you're stuck with me. All right, so now both chats have it. The question: over the last decade, what percentage of Republicans do you suspect committed a crime while in office? The top two answers for both sides of the aisle here, when asked about Democrats, were either between 26 and 50%, or uh, between 76 and 100%. But there was not a lot of belief that this was a crimeless party. Republicans are getting yet another advantage here because they actually have 0% as a possibility. But let's see. Well, they've got 0 to 25% as a possibility. I'm saying legally, Nanchikit. Morally, I think every last one. I think we can basically just put all our existing politicians out onto a ship and push that ship into the ocean and then sink the ship. But I'm talking legally, like it's on the books. The thing that they did is not supposed to be allowed, and they did it anyway for their own benefit or callousness or whatever. And then they either were caught or weren't caught, but they conducted themselves as though law doesn't matter. Man to the pivot. Let's see. Yeah, I consider taking away free lunch a crime and fleeing the state during a disaster too. It is desperately sad that they did that. I don't consider it a crime, obviously, but I'm shocked that anybody would vote for anybody, including the chunk of Democrats that did this, to defund school lunches. That's insane. We had at one point in this country recently cut child poverty in half, and then we just decided we weren't going to fund it anymore. Insane. Fleeing the state during a disaster too. I had a shocking, a sadly funny moment with Pinkerbell recently because we heard that the storm was coming to Texas, and I just said, "Well, I assume something along the lines of I assume Ted Cruz has fled the state," and he actually literally had, because anytime there's a disaster in Texas, Cruz skedaddles. And usually so does the governor. It's very shocking to me that they have been reelected after abandoning their people every time there's a tragedy. It's not even that I, again, want you folks in the vertical chat to start voting for people I like. I know you're determined not to. Okay. But you can vote for a whole bunch of folks that I don't like. You could vote for somebody that I don't like and is also competent, you know? It doesn't have to be, Ted Cruz every time. Yeah, he fled again. Of course he did. Of course. Oh, is Jay Dizzle back? Jay Dizzle! I'm so glad, you're here, man. Uh, I am sincerely glad you're here. Uh, I like this. I'm sure if you look deep enough, they all commit a crime. Yeah, I think so as well. I think these people are under the correct impression that they are our rulers and not our servants, which is what they are supposed to be. I think they know that no matter what they do, half of the country, because they have been so wound up to about the other half of the country, half of the country will cover for their crimes and will never demand better leadership. Will never threaten them with a primary. Will never do any of that because it's a game to them. That's what I think. I'm in agreement with you. Shaman41 says they will start getting sick and can't be cured. Plus, the system does not hold them accountable. So, us magicians are here cleaning up the planet and not sitting back. Justice is here. If you know actual magic spells that work, I would consider trading some of mine for some of those. Vote in the poll, everybody. Yes, please do, because I'm about to shut them down. The question at the of the polls is, and we're going to shut it down in about 60 seconds. So get those votes in. Question in the polls is: what percentage of Republicans over the last decade do you believe committed an actual on-paper legal crime while in office? Again, I want to stress I don't have the answer, and I don't think it's possible to get the answer. I just want to know what you think of these people. Yes, Jay Dizzle, 100%. They are the worst people we send to DC, both sides. And I don't know why it happens. It happens over and over and over. I think I know, but I obviously can't prove it. I think I have theories. I can tell you that I voted for people I didn't like more times than I voted for people that I like. And they get me to vote for them generally by telling lies about you and those who you probably are aligned with in terms of politics that they assume I won't look up. And up until this era of my life, they've been correct. I've just assumed, well, if you vote for this, it's because you're evil. If you vote for that, well, you're a villain. So, you know. But what keeps happening when we do this? This fucking game continues. And the value of an hour's work goes down and down and down. Yeah. It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. Absolutely. What did Bernie do? I genuinely don't know. He didn't do anything. I think Bernie, well, of course I have critiques of Bernie Sanders, but no, he's not. I would not count him amongst those people I was not thrilled to vote for, but he never made it out of the primaries. He got arguably betrayed by the Democratic Party. And there's almost no point in saying that, but because it's such a commonly held belief. All right, let's have a look. Again, almost identical. Let's have a chat. In the horizontal stream, it was basically tied, but the winning vote was 26 to 50%. 26 to 50%. That was the same number. That was the winning percentage was the same, I believe, for both for both parties. Yeah, it was. So progressives, at least the ones in this here, oh wait, at least the ones in this here situation, progressives believe that basically both these parties are corrupt. That's pretty neat. Let's have a look in this here. According to, have I had this up the whole time? I have. I'm sorry. According to the vertical stream, the winner is also, nope, there we go. The winner is also Jakeception. The winner is also 26 to 50% with about the same margin. The second most is the same as it was before, 76 to 100%. Now, our second most was also, it's tied with the other one, 51 to 75, but an equal number of people voted for 76 to 100. All right, gang. I'm not gonna try to twist your ear for too long. No matter which side of the aisle you are on, no matter which stream you are in, I would like you to consider the implications of those polls. I have seen you interact with each other in other streams. I have seen, I have felt how we are tempted to interact with one another. It's a game. We don't even know we're playing it. Yet we seem to understand these people can't be trusted. This is the Epstein class is a criminal class of people. Whichever one of us, and it turns out I think the answer is both, but whichever one of us, in whatever ways we are doing this, are helping the billionaires, are helping the Epstein class, are helping the corrupt politicians. Stop it. Replace those that you don't trust, and you should not trust most of them. In fact, we seem to be in agreement that you do not trust 26 to 50% of either party. That means in these primaries, find a way. I don't know how you're going to do it, but find a way to replace 26 to 50% of these motherfuckers. This has been WYCD Wicked. That stands for What You Can Do. And I'm going to let my good friend Donald James X play us out.